is we will cure mental health problem. First, you can mental health is nothing about it is the part of health. Health is we very well know about. Actually, three important factor is very essential for health concept: physical and mental and social. But people are always concentrate only physical and social factor. Near 60 percentage crisis belonging to the area of a mental problem. So, World Health Organization rightly pointed out that this important information. Near 60 percentage now raised in mental health oriented diseases. Mental health is one of the important component come under the broad concept of health. We easily define ability to adjust satisfactory to various kind of environment. It is perfectly adaptation character. How we have to adjust to the various situation in this condition. Mental health is more than absence of mental disorder. Suppose there are two different elements in the mental health oriented. One is mental ill health and the mental disorder. So come under this area of mental health. And there is no health without mental health. So such a very important one. And next, majority of psychologists believed the term may be as complete maturity. Even you go for Kohli. Kohli is a famous psychiatrist. He believed it is the ability to adjust to the surrounding situation. So such a valuable definition may be called as completely maturity. Number of psychological factors influence the mental health. Take for example, proper diet, adequate exercise, avoiding cigarettes, drugs, and excessive alcohol. These are the factors directly influence the mental health. And next, mental health. Now this is called a brief introduction about mental health. Now talk about mental hygiene. Suppose one state of condition we called as mental health. Suppose you maintain the prolonged period in the mental health situation, we may call it as mental hygiene. Take for example, oral hygiene, mouth hygiene, and hand hygiene, personal hygiene, industrial hygiene. Like that, mind hygiene, mental health, mental hygiene is very, very essential one. So unwantedly, don't put much of confusion, thinking, thought like that. So every day we have to cleaning. So that procedure, if you follow the period of prolong in your life structure, it is called as mental hygiene. It is lifelong process. We simply called as it means to make people conscious of mental health. So this is very important one. Mental hygiene. Suppose who perfectly to maintain the mental hygiene structure. Some of the yogic guru saying that they believed they have realization of potential, happiness, harmonious, and effective existence. They have to realize. In ordinary people, such a character is not observable one. So only few of yogic persons are relieved. These are the basic introduction about mental health and mental hygiene. Now we go to the very important element that is concept of mental health and hygiene. How we have to maintain World Health Organization rightly point out that there are four important factors is very, very essential for perfectly to maintain the mental health concept. First is reality contact. Reality contact means you touch with real situation. So this is a problematic area. In order to maintain good and sound mental health, it is important to have a realistic appraisal of one's own reaction, emotion, ability. So this is a problem. People are simply for நம்ம உண்மையோட டச்சை வச்சுக்கிறதே கிடையாது. அந்த டச்சை வச்சுக்கிட்டோம் அப்படின்னா we have to realize that this is a very important factor. If you are not in touch with the reality, we may be able to avoid a number of disappointments. So if you are in touch with the reality, you will be avoided number of disappointments and frustration in daily life. முதல் சுச்சுவேஷனே அதான். அதை கரெக்டா மெயின்டைன் பண்ணிட்டோம்னா, அப்போ உண்மையோட டச்சா வச்சுக்கிட்டோம்னாவே நம்ம பர்ஃபெக்டா ஆயிடுறோம். Then second important factor that is called impulse control. You know very well, we are having two different characteristics. In psychologically, we one character is inside of our we get from our parents, that we called as instinct. Instinct, basic instinct. According to the basic instinct, we perfectly act. So one character is innate character, and another one is acquired. By an experience, you learn some of the behavioral pattern. So two different characteristics of a behavioral pattern you just realize. So by this, if you know these two different characters, then only you have to realize very important. Our own behavior you have to realize. Then only control over the impulses. நம்ம கேரக்டர் என்னன்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டா தான் நம்ம கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ண முடியும். Then self-esteem. This is very, very important area. Awareness about oneself. It is called self-concept. The self-concept evaluating tool based on some procedure we followed, that we called as self-esteem. So if we think all the time, suppose we look on one person, we first think about a positive manner, it's a good one. So you think yourself positively. This is a very, very essential one. Based on this feeling, beliefs, and value, we have to frame. Then next one, positive, the last fourth factor. This is in this area, more or all candidates fail to achieve this one, because whenever we have to frame or think about others, we put on a wrong way. That's a problem. So here, your positive thought is very, very essential one. The quality of mental health depends on whether we direct our thought in positive or negative way. This is very, very important. Suppose we positively arrange, no problem. Negative means the negative thought is giving negative emotion, such as anger, hate, jealous, fear, despair, like that. Suppose you frame positive means no problem. Positive emotions will come out. That in maybe love, joy, happiness, hope, compassion, empathy, optimize. So this is a very, very important of these four principles of mental health procedure. If you follow these four principles, definitely we will achieve right mental health. This is you can see here, I put on some of the negative emotions. The people are anchor, so the crumbling of teeth, and the face itself have some antagonistic procedure. And hate, you can see here, this is a structure of the hate. And jealous, if you are talk, suppose someone is buy a new car, you take in a positive way. This is a very healthy one. So most of them is not framed correctly. That's a problem. So it is a healthy one. We have to think first. Jealousy. Despair means some very very sad news in the family home. Suppose the person is go out in lonely place and feel about that sadness. So this is called despair. In Tamil word virakti அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. And this is called basic idea about mental health principles. Now we go to third important area, that is the behavior which sustain good mental health. You may think about this is as per procedure of Indian Ayurvedic medicine. They rightly point out there are four different lifestyles followed in the procedure of Ayurvedic system. May be called as ahara, achara, vigara, vichara. This is a Sanskrit word. Our Indian system, the procedure followed. How we have to sustain good mental health. First step, right food. Which one is right food? Which food we preferably to take right food? Food is most important aspect of our life. For better health, one must eat fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, fiber content is very, very essential. They pointed out these food material are very essential. Oily, spicy, junk, processed food may cause some of the obesity, hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, gastric ulcer, even non-communicable diseases, such we called as cancer, is emerged out. Now, you may think about oily means there are two different oil preferably we use. One fatty acid may be called as unsaturated fatty acid, and another one is saturated fatty acid. Unsaturated means plant source. Maybe think about a very good example of sesame oil, groundnut oil, sunflower oil. These plant sources are always a high amount of long polymers of unsaturated fatty acids. This is a very, very easily digestible procedure. Whereas you go for saturated fatty acid, that is it's a problematic one. Is not easily digestible. That sources actually from animal sources, butter, ghee, or any kind of animal sources is saturated. So if you understand this oil procedure, we will avoid a number of problems. And spicy, unwanted food material, for fragrance, we use many kind of food material. We will avoid for spicy also. And junk, we put on cheese, in between the burger, pizza, like that, high calorie. It is not suitable for our country. They pointed out. And the process of processed food, you may call the noodles. These are the food is very, very important for. So they consider right food. Right food is very essential. And the next one, achara. Achara, you may think about right routine. This is very, very important one. How we have to take the food material according to the seasonal changes. We are having four seasonal changes. Rightly point out, summer season, may think about light food with a little oil. Summertime, our ancestors very clearly point out இந்த நீராகரம் அந்த மாதிரி எடுத்துக்கங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So they emphasize the same principle in the Indian Ayurvedic system. And during the winter and autumn, sweet and salt or salty related food materials. Spring, gram and rice, and rainy season, astringent and acid. This is very, very important. புளிக்கிற ஃபுட்டை எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம்னா எந்த நோயும் வராது அப்படின்னு rightly pointed out. And now vikara, right recreation. Recreation means, it is enjoyment oriented. Doing exercise, morning walk is very, very important procedure. So it gives body light, strong and light. That is, and all simultaneously it increases the immunity power, and as well as your own capacity will be realized if you do this procedure of regular exercise. And one more important point, it raises the immunity power in the form of rising the segregation of endocrine system. So it strengthens the endocrine system. Then only you have to realize. And by the process of exercising, we will eliminate a number of toxic materials from through perspiration. That is sweating. So due to the sweating, we will be eliminate detoxification process. We will be achieve the detoxification process. Excess delay and so age, exercise delay the aging process. If you want a very young structure, you do exercise. This is very, very important one. And the last one in that vichara. So this is right thinking. Right thinking. Already I have pointed out and the concept of mental health principles. Anyhow, these principles also very important. In that side, they are indicate positive thinking. Here, right thinking. sound and positive mental health only be maintained with the right kind of thinking. So if you are யாராச்சும் ஒருத்தர் பாக்குறோம் அப்படின்னா யூ ஹாவ் டு திங்க் ஃபர்ஸ்ட்லி ரைட் மேனர், அதாவது ஒரு அந்த அந்த டேட்டாவை ரைட்டாவே கொண்டு போ அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. A person who is mentally fit and healthy, they have some quality. If you're right person, right thinking, they are having some beautiful quality behind that. Take for example self-satisfaction. They are having some self-satisfaction, accommodative intellectual. This is I'm practically observed many situations in my life. நல்ல ரிச்சா இருப்பாங்க, ஒரு ஒரு டிப்ஸ் ஒரு 5 ரூபா கொடு அப்படின்னா ரொம்ப யோசிப்பாங்க. அக்காமடேட்டிவ், அதாவது சில டைம் சண்டைக்கே போயிடுவாங்க. அந்த ஒரு 2 ரூபா 3 ரூபாய்க்காக ஒரு தன்னுடைய இதை மறந்து அதை இதுக்காக போயிடுவாங்க. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கக்கூடாது. ஹெல்பிங் அறிவியல், அதாவது அக்காமடேட்டிவ் இன்டெலெக்சுவலா இருக்கணும். Then ability to accept this area always we are failed. Ability to accept criticism. மற்றவங்க ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு கிரிட்டிசைஸ் பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னா we ability to achieve, accept பண்ணிக்கிறது ஒரு பெரிய ஆற்றல். Understanding of emotional needs of others and self control, this is very crucial, very important. So these are the quality is very essential for achieving vichara. And if suppose you follow in the lifestyle procedure, one may achieve very good friends and earn respect from everybody. So this is a basic principle. Now fourth is related to, these are the concepts simply talk about how we maintain mental health procedure like that. Now we go to stress. This is a lockdown period. Very practically I have observed a number of problems related to mental health issues, and nowadays rising near 60%. How suicide problem, very practically number of issues. Now how you just realize, if you realize the stress procedure, definitely we will escape from the mental health problem. First is stress means pressure or uneasy experience. Our response to even that disturb our physical or psychological. Suppose you do any of the simple activity, if you go to voluntarily with willing to do this work, no problem. If you unwillingly to touch this material, may produce some stress. So willingness, very first one, voluntarily willingness is very essential. Then who defined this beautiful concept? The father of Hans Selye is 1930 discovered alarm reaction in rat. So he is the first person, the founder of stress, father of stress. He rightly pointed out after facing a terrible situation, on alarm reaction he discovered. So this is the first principle. And another one important Harvard physiologist, medical physiologist, Walter Cannon, in 1932 articulate the first term, fight and flight response. This is also, he gave one beautiful example. While you hiking a beautiful mountain, just like Nilgiris Hills, that time just 50 odd distance, you have to observe one black bear. The black bear is seeing you. How you feel in that moment? Our body automatically, our stomach have some butterflies. This movement we called as fight and flight response. So he first person rightly point out under the process of the sympathetic nervous system. He also further he defined there are two types of stresses. One stress is simply, stress is commonly very essential for normal activity. Don't think about all the stress is very dangerous. Use stress means, suppose you practice for your volleyball volleyball playing activity or cricket, you put some effort. That effort may consider as use stress. While you go for another one, all the negative oriented, any kind of all other activities is simply called distress. The distress is a problem. You can realize. And now causes of stress. scientifically there are three causes they are identified. One is self causes, and other due to from other person, and environmental causes. How it is stresses caused by self? Suppose you are not prepared for your examination. Tomorrow examination you are not prepared. At the right time you have to very fastly you have to prepare that produce unwanted stress. This stress you have to create. Yourself is created. So planning is very important. And next, suppose in front of others, your higher officials or your colleague may be blaming you, automatically that stress come out by this reason, stress from others. And very good example, environmental stress. This is maybe called as, you may think about beautiful example, low cost. Suppose you put on near 6 months work in the field of craft field, at the time of harvesting and the flood or maybe any rain or sometime low cost, unexpectedly low cost is come out and destroy your field. So due to this environmental factor, the entire system is collapsed. So this is only the causes of three factors. Now we go to what is the reaction of causes, how it is reaction. Maybe you think about there are two important procedure. One is overt and another one is covert. I may think about suppose stress is occurred. What is that? First moment, rapid bounding of a heart and pulses. This is very clear. Stress வந்துருச்சு அப்படின்னா நெஞ்சு பயங்கரமா படபடக்கும் அப்படிங்கிறது ஒண்ணு. Then muscles become tense, dryness of mouth, feeling sickness in the stomach. Then already I told that is Kanon principle, butterfly in the stomach and trembling. Sometime நார்மலா இருப்பாங்க, அவங்க கையை பிடிச்சிங்கன்னா நடுங்குவாங்க, அப்படியே கடக்கடன்னு ஆடும். Okay, so this is directly, but indirectly you have to. This is covert response. And affective means they indirectly they are affective. Anxiety is developed, depression is developed, anger is developed, and irritability and the poor controller of emotions. You will not control your emotion at that time. And cognitive also is very imbalanced, poor concentration, inability to learn, forgetting, confusion, crushing of ideas, and negative thoughts. These are the characters indirectly in your body is there. Now these last one, overt response, you have to identify very clearly in the spot. Suppose crying and talking incoherently, irrelevant speech, bashing. Bashing means involuntarily to attack others. Banking, that is another one with அமைதியா இருப்பாங்க, திடீர்னு பயங்கரமா கத்துவாங்க. வீட்டில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நல்ல ஒரு ஜென்யூன் ப்ரொஃபஷனாக இருப்பார், நல்ல ஒரு ப்ரொஃபஷனில் ஒர்க் பண்ணுவார், பயங்கரமாக கத்துவாங்க, விகாரமாக கத்துவாங்க. திஸ் இஸ் கால்ட் பேங்கிங். ஸோ தீஸ் ஆர் த ரியாக்ஷன் we have clearly observed. This is a very clear indication some constant factor is stimulating stress. Scientists are identified there are 4 factors. These are the factors very responsible to create stress that we call as stressor. First factor, marriage, retirement, divorce. Be careful. These 3 factors is simply related to high influence factor. Suppose marriage is a problem. I don't think about problem. It is someone, the factor is behind that. And daily hazards due to this factor maybe stress produced. Misplacing or losing item, keychain தொலைஞ்சு போச்சுன்னா பயங்கரமா கோவம் வரும். And exam deadlines, traffic jam. And in this very good example, in this lockdown period, a number of drug addict waiting in the queue. So in that moment is also creating unwanted attention. And some chronic problem in the within the family. Some disabled child is there, some poverty condition is going on, that is also is a problem. Down the last one, unexpected. Now it's a good example of COVID-19 is a very big problem. Eh? So due to this problem, nuclear attack, bomb blast, death of loved ones. So due to this, trauma is maybe occurred. So now we go to uh, conflict and frustration. So if you maintain this unhealthy structure, automatically we will enter the next important area. This is the first area to create tension or unwanted imbalance of mental health. That is conflict. When two incompatible situations or two different opinion is crashed, maybe conflict is come out. It may be called as in Tamil word முரண்பாடு அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Suppose if you maintain conflict in your lifestyle structure, automatically you will be entered the first disease of mental health problem, that is frustration. So you be very carefully, you can identify this is first one. Conflict may be any urges. Sometimes your own characteristics will come out. Some of the innate character, basic instinct. Sometimes very good film that some psychological movie is rightly point out. அந்த கேரக்டர் எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க உள்ள இருந்தே வெளியில போகும். யார்கிட்ட இருந்து கத்துக்கணும்னு அவசியமே கிடையாது. அம்மா அப்பாட்ட இருக்கிறது அப்படியே ரிஃப்ளெக்ட் ஆகும். ஒரு நல்ல பிலிம் வந்து நந்தா அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு படத்துல பாத்தீங்கன்னா, then many type of conflict lead to frustration. First is Levin's field theory, rightly point out, is a German based American psychologist who rightly point out beautiful conflict type. That is three type of character. One is, this is, you can understand, you will be avoid a problem in your life. How you have to very happy moment maintain in your life, you will be carefully observe. This is a problem. The first step, approach. Suppose this is voluntarily movement. You will be prepared for your own exam to secure more marks. That time your friends calling for cinema or a local festival. Which moment you will be select? Which one? Only one you is possible. You have to. So two different approach, positively approaching you. Which one you have to select? That is very, very important. So at the time of your consciousness, rightly you will select one. That is very important. So this is, if you are making some trouble here, the problem will be occurred in your soul. And then these two also different avoidable situations. This is one who is not interested in movie, but friends are calling you, come for movie. But suppose one think like that, நம்ம சினிமாவுக்கு போலன்னா அவன் ஏதாச்சும் நினைச்சோம்னா reluctant behavior. So you can think about சினிமாவுக்கு போகவும் வீட்டுல இருந்தாலும் தப்பா போயிருது, எனக்கு சினிமாவே பிடிக்காது அப்படிங்கிற. So two different avoidable, this also is making a problem. And the last one, American point out, Lewis theory, a beautiful approach. Here all are failed, more or less. This is a very good example. A girl 25 years old, her father is married one bright man. He is professionally qualified, well placed, but that girl indirectly observed what is that bridegroom is having this character. Indirectly அந்த பொண்ணு இன்டைரக்டா தெரிஞ்சுக்குவான், இந்த பையன் எனக்கு எப்படி சூட் ஆகும் அப்படின்ட்டு தெரிஞ்சுக்குவான். ஸோ தட் டைம் ஏதாவது தெரிய வருது அப்படின்னா, ராங்கா தெரிய வருது, he may smokes or drink addict like that, automatically, suppose marriage is possible, total lifespan is collapsed. So this is a situation called approach avoidance conflict. So these three principles, conflict oriented. So if you mistake in this area, subsequently the problem is followed in your life career. So be careful. And now come to the end, another one interesting area, that is coping. How we have to face this coping. rightly point out there are two different mechanism, adaptive mechanism and defense mechanism. Adaptive mechanism, we will very well rightly. It is, don't think small adjustment, rightly. Confrontation. Suppose any one problem due to between you and others, you will be surrendered in front of others, or you will be rightly asking why you are making this problem. Suppose நீங்க நேரடியா கேட்டுட்டீங்கன்னா அதுவே அப்பவே சால்வ் ஆயிடும். அந்த மாதிரி கேட்காம இருக்கிறது தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கன்ஃபரன்டேஷன். தென் காம்ப்ரமைஸ், ரெண்டு பேருமே மியூச்சுவலி அட்ஜஸ்டட் அண்ட் வித்ட்ரா. திஸ் இஸ் வெரி பியூட்டிஃபுல் டெக்னிக். வீட்டில் ஏதாவது பிரச்சனை அப்படின்னா என்னுடைய ப்ராக்டிக்கல் லைஃப்ல என்னுடைய ஃபாதர் வெளியில வீட்டை விட்டு போயிடுவார். ஒரு மணி நேரம் கழிச்சு திருப்பி வருவோம். வித்ட்ரா ஃப்ரம் த சிச்சுவேஷன் இஸ் ஈஸி டெக்னிக் of coping, and handle the distressed person. This is very important, very carefully to observe. If you are giving right information, valid data you will be furnished, definitely they will be accepted. நல்ல உண்மையான ஒரு விஷயம் நான் ஒத்துக்கிறேன் சார், நீங்க சொன்னதை என்னை மன்னிச்சிருங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டோம் அப்படின்னா அவரே ப்ராப்ளத்தை மறந்து நம்மளும் ரிலீவ் ஆயிடுவோம், அவங்களும் ரிலீவ் ஆயிடுவோம். The next one, a beautiful technique. This technique I have learned and trained from National Institute of Mental Health and Neuroscience, Bangalore. This is one beautiful technique I have realized. I learned a little bit yoga from that Nimhans person. How you can do, you can sit very comfortably in chair or ground floor, in that and relax your shoulders and remove your belt and wallets from your trouser and shirt and sit very comfortably. And now you bring your hands in the lower belly. So just like that lower belly, you bring your hands in between this finger, the two middle fingers, you have to realize. Now you close your eyes, then slowly inhale and exhale. Now you have to realize the stomach upward and inward. So this realization you can understand automatically reduce all type of tension by this procedure. This is abdominal breathing I have learned from Nimhans. So if you do this exercise, definitely you will be removed this category. Now this is a foreign technique, very beautiful technique, handling grief. How we have to துக்கத்தை எப்படி ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுவாங்க. I was very good example. When the disease start from pandemic, Wuhan city, near 5 months back, that time I spoke out to all my friends and colleagues. மேடம் பயங்கரமா இந்த டிசீஸ் ஓகன் சிட்டில புறப்பட்டுருச்சு அப்படின்னு அவங்கள்ட்ட ஷேர் பண்றேன். they have not realized that's a problem. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இதை மறுக்கிறாங்க. அனந்த், கரூர்ல தமிழ்நாட்டுல எல்லாம் பயங்கரமா வெயில் அடிக்குது, கண்டிப்பா வரவே வராது. So if you say any of grief oriented first information, அந்த பேஷண்ட் டாக்டர் கன்வே பண்ணுவார், அந்த பேஷண்ட்டுக்கு கேன்சர் வந்துருச்சு அப்படின்னு அந்த டாக்டர் வீட்டு அந்த சொன்னா, எனக்கு எப்படிங்க சார் கேன்சர் வந்துச்சு, எனக்கு வருமா, வரவே வராது. தே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் that madam Kapler Rose in her book 1969 on death and dying book, they identified 5 elements. First is denial. We neglect it, we are not accepted. If you say cancer, not accepted. Now we, after 5 months in the pandemic COVID-19, we have to realize. இன்னைக்கு பாருங்க, மாஸ்க் போடாம அவங்க வீட்டுக்கு போனாலும் மாஸ்க் நீ போட்டுக்க அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. அது 5 மாசத்துக்கு முன்னாடி அந்த நோயை ஏத்துக்காதவங்க இன்னைக்கு நீ கூப்பிட்டு சொல்றாங்க மாஸ்க் போட்டுக்குங்க அப்படின்னு. Okay, so you can understand psychologically the person how to behave, the grief movement. This is very important. I think a very useful technique for NSS coordinators. Denial. The first denial is first one. Next, after 2 or 3 days, the person is having high anger, frustration moment is there, and bargaining. Third structure, you pray the God, கடவுளே என்னை காப்பாத்து அப்படின்னு கடவுள்கிட்ட ப்ரே பண்ணிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. Then fourth stage is very, very dangerous. If you are carefully adjust here, or otherwise you will be enter suicide line. That's here the problem. That coupler is rightly point out. Many notes is available in our internet. You can go get it. Depression. Depression means after bargaining, the candidate rightly fixing depression, no problem. Suppose wrongly fix, நம்ம உயிர் வாழ முடியாது, இந்த நோய் நம்மளை அடிச்சு காலி பண்ணிடும், அதுக்கு முன்னாடியே நம்ம காலி ஆயிடுவோம் அப்படின்னு ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. This character, it will be enter the person into depression. Depression means நல்லா இருப்பாங்க, திடீர்னு ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஷிப்ல இருந்து பிரிஞ்சிருவாங்க. ஈஸியா ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணணும்னா இதான். நல்ல குரூப்போட பேசிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, திடீர்னு தனியா ஒரு ரூம்ல போய் உட்கார்ந்துருப்பாங்க, ஒரு வாரமா தனியா இருப்பாங்க. அப்புறம் ஒரு பியூட்டிஃபுல் இண்டிகேஷன், நல்ல ஹெல்த்தி பாடியா இருக்குன்னா கருவளையம் கட்டியிருக்கும். கருவளையத்துக்கு நம்ம என்ன பெயிண்டா போய் அடிச்சு விட முடியும்? அடிக்கிறாங்க, அதெல்லாம் கிடையவே கிடையாது. ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா அது எப்படி வருது அப்படின்னு அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கிரியேஷன் வரும். ஸோ இதெல்லாம் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணலாம். டிப்ரெஷனா இருக்கிறாங்க அப்படிங்கறத கிளியரா ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணிடலாம். டிப்ரெஷன்ல இருந்து தப்பிச்சவங்க தான் அக்செப்டன்ஸ்க்கு வருவாங்க. இப்ப COVID-19 எல்லாருமே ஏத்துக்கிறாங்க, எல்லாருமே ஆல் ஆர் அக்செப்டட். அந்த டிசீஸ் இங்க இருக்கு, இதை ரைட்டா நம்ம ஃபேஸ் பண்ணணும், நம்ம சாதிச்சு காட்டணும். நம்ம இதை ரைட்டா ஃபேஸ் பண்ணல, இப்படி டிஸ்டன்ஸை மெயின்டைன் பண்ணணும். இப்படி கிளியரா ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ண முடியும். மைல்டு அட்டாக்லாம் இருக்கணும். 90% மைல்டு அட்டாக் தான் இருக்குதான். இப்ப ரைட்டான மாஸ்க் போட்டுட்டு தான் அவங்கள்ட்ட பேசணும், 1 மீட்டர் டிஸ்டன்ஸ் இருக்கணும். அப்போ ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம் அக்செப்டன்ஸ். ரொம்ப கேர்ஃபுல். Now we go to active behavior. A person simply entered defense mechanism. That is the first step to create mental illness. Mental illness means are loose. Mental disorder na complete loose ஆயிட்டாங்க அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். So we very carefully how you put on self defense mechanism, in which area you have to turn over to enter the mental illness. So you just be realized, according to the American Psychiatrist Association manual, that manual name DSM, Diagnostic Statistical Manual, Text Revision. That manual every year is passed some psychological disease, right mannerly pointed out. First disease, this is very common disease, this is curable disease. How we have to escape? Anxiety. Anxiety means in Tamil word பதட்டம். எப்படி பதட்டம் வருது? பேண்டமிக்னு சொன்னா சில பேர் பதட்டம் அடைகிறாங்க. COVID-19 வந்துருச்சு, தமிழ்நாட்டுக்குள்ளார வந்துருச்சு அப்படின்னா பதட்டம் ஆயிடுறாங்க. There are two different type of anxiety. One is called phobia. Phobia means fear. The fear is have some strong causes is there, very strong causes. You may any cause, at least one causes is definitely there, that we called as phobia. Maybe think about if you in very high place, if you see the ground floor, no, that we called as one fear, unwanted one fear. That fear we called as acrophobia. Now if you look on very crowd movement, you are kept in close place, you watching on the public place or market place, that we called as agoraphobia. Claustrophobia is very close. If you travel in that what we call the lift, if you the closed room, it may be one fear is there. Very good film. No, what is that? Game over. So rightly point out some psychological problem. Nectophobia. Suppose you see the dark place is having some phobia, that they call phobia name is nectophobia. So this is, and even blood you can see, that is called hematophobia. If you see the water, hydrophobia. Cynophobia. If you see the dark in the street, no, it's a cynophobia. So phobia many kind, but behind that one reason is there. This is called phobia. And now panic. This is without cause. You can clearly identify that there is no cause. That's a உங்க வீட்டுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா வீட்டினுடைய கொல்லப்புறத்துக்கு போக வேண்டாம், அங்க பேய் இருக்கு, இல்ல யாரோ புதைச்சு வச்சிருப்பாங்க, அதனால அந்த ரூம்குள்ளார போக வேண்டாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி வச்சிருப்பாங்க. சப்போஸ் unexpectedly you will be enter in that room, you will be observe, யாரோ பின்னாடி வந்து தொடுற மாதிரி ஒரு சென்சேஷன் வந்துடும். அவங்க சொல்லிதான் வச்சிருப்பாங்க, ஆனா வந்துடும் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா. தட் பி கால்ட் ஆஸ், அந்த டைம்ல பயங்கரமா பேண்ட் கத்த ஆரம்பிச்சிருவாங்க. தட் டைம் இட் செல்ஃப் வி கம் அவுட் one anxiety problem that we called as panic. Panic is a very famous disease, and now COVID-19 is creating some panic. Panic is different from phobia, so both are come under the anxiety. Now second disease, this is very common problem. Suppose any psychological oriented disease come inside on our body, automatically our system of physiological activities collapsed. Take for example high blood pressure, unwanted metabolic rate, diabetes is increased. These all are come under the psychosomatic disorder. Even common symptom ulcer is problem. And this is a very common problem. Another one problem, diagnostic statistical manual 4 rightly point out, very common in childhood, very specifically in the childhood behavior completely changed by this some psychological problem. A very good example, ADHD, that is attention deficient hyperactivity disorder. And autism, there is a slow learner, not concentrate on then eating disorder, anorexia nervosa is a very good example. British family is clearly identified. நிறைய ஃபுல்லா சாப்பிடுவாங்க, ஆனா எப்ப பார்த்தாலும் ஒல்லியாவே இருப்பாங்க. bulimia அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். we called as anorexia nervosa, bulimia. Now we go to, this is very common OCD problem, a group of overlapping வீட்டை பூட்டிட்டாங்கன்னா ஒரு தடவை பூட்டை இழுத்து பார்க்கலாம், இல்லைன்னா ஒரு 2 தடவை பூட்டை இழுத்து பார்க்கலாம். சில பேர் பூட்டிலேயே தொங்கிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. So this is a very 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 dangerous problem. This is a first problem regarding OCD problem. So how we have to identify, பெட்ஷீட் எடுத்துருவாங்க, டஸ்ட் இருக்காது. ஏன்னா COVID-19 கையை வாஷ் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, சானிடைசர் போட்டு சோப் போட்டு கழுவாங்க. பாத்ரூம்லயே சோப் போட்டு கழுவிட்டே இருப்பாங்க, ஒரு 100 தடவை கழுவுவாங்க, அதுல அழுக்கும் இருக்காது, எதுவும் இருக்காது. தட் ஆல்சோ இஸ் a disease. So oppressive means repeated, compulsive means that thought will be erased, they will do repeatedly, overlapping behavior. Now this is a very critical problem. This problem you can understand. Suppose if you are not rightly fixing this problem, you will be enter depression. Very carefully you can mood disorder. Okay, there are a very good example, bipolar disease. Bipolar means polar. There are 2 different polar regions. So one side they are very common in mania. Mania means you may think about அமைதியா இருப்பாங்க, பயங்கரமா சிரிப்பாங்க, they are laughing vigorously or agitatedly. So that situation we called as mania. If that mania is, we will not watch properly, some disease very clearly identified, kleptomania. கிளெப்டோமேனியானா ஒரு திருடுற பழக்கம், பிளான் பண்ணி திருடுனாதான் திருட்டு. இது ஒரு மனநோயினால திருடுவாங்க. ஒரு வீட்டுக்கு போனாங்கன்னா டேபிள் ஏதாவது சாவி இது வச்சிருக்காங்கன்னா எடுத்து பாக்கெட்ல போட்டுக்குவாங்க. they are not planned. This is a behavior problem. This is a psychological problem. சாவி எடுத்து போட்டுக்குவாங்க, அவங்க வீட்டுல செல்போன் இருக்குன்னா எடுத்து பாக்கெட்ல போட்டு வந்துடுவாங்க. கிளெப்டோமேனியா. தென் பைரோமேனியா அடிக்கடி தீயை பத்த வைக்கணும்னு ஆசைப்படுவாங்க, பைரோமேனியா. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் கால்டு மேனியா. அதே கேண்டிடேட் ஒரு 1 வீக் கழிச்சு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அப்படியே ரொம்ப டிப்ரெஷனா தனியா ஒரு ரூம்ல அமைதியா உட்காந்துருப்பாங்க. ஸோ திஸ் பைபோலார் இஸ் வெரி வெரி டேஞ்சரஸ். டிப்ரெஷனை ப்ராப்பரா கவனிக்கல அப்படின்னா லீட்ஸ் டு சூசைட் தான் போவாங்க. ரொம்ப கேர்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கணும் டிப்ரெஷன் விஷயத்துல. ஸோ டிப்ரெஷன் and mania is bipolar. Now we come to the, so this is a good example for last one. The left side is depression, this is mania. Now schizophrenia, this is very commonly observed in the road side. நல்ல வீடு இருக்கும், மனைவி இருப்பாங்க, எல்லாமே இருப்பாங்க, ஆனா வீட்டை விட்டு அந்த பர்சன் வெளியில வந்துடுவார். ஏதோ ஒரு ரீசன் இருக்கும், முக்கியமான ரீசன் இருக்கும். அவங்க ஷர்ட்ல எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா முடிச்சு இருக்கும். They have more knots of in the shirt. They are simple, very dirty shirt itself. So this is called a real psycho 1. This is a psycho 1. It's a very dangerous problem. Watch properly, you will be cured. Otherwise, proper medication is very, very essential one. Here you will think about the hallucination is there, delusion is there, and disassociate behavior is there. Hallucination means யாரோ ஒருத்தர் காதுல வந்து பேசுற மாதிரி காதுல உணர்வு கேட்டுக்கிட்டே இருக்கும். டேக் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், நான் எங்க வீட்டு பக்கத்துல ஒருத்தர் வீட்டுக்கு போனேன். அவங்க வீட்டுக்குள்ளார போறப்ப அனந்த் வா அப்படின்ட்டு, ஆனா உள்ள யார்கிட்ட பேசிட்டு இருக்கிறாங்க. என்னை வந்து வாங்க உள்ளார உட்காருங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. நீ அப்புறமேல் வா அப்படின்ட்டு. that image is not there, that ghost is not there, that someone image is there. She voluntarily talk with that. ஆனா in between அப்புறமேல் ஆனந்த் வந்துட்டான் அப்படின்ட்டு உள்ள பேசுறது எனக்கு தெரியுது. This movement we simply called as hallucination. And delusion, they may think their own self as a god. கடவுளா நினைச்சுக்குவாங்க, கடவுள் வந்திருக்கேன் நான் தான் அப்படின்ட்டு சொல்லுவாங்க. So these qualities behind that schizophrenia. This is called psycho 1. This is called, and very good example, catatonic. Catatonic is motionless. One poster is there that we called catatonic. You may see here, அப்படியே ஒரு இடத்துக்கு அப்படியே நின்றுட்டே நிற்பாங்க, ரொம்ப நேரமா நின்றுட்டே இருப்பாங்க. This is, we will not cure rightly. We compulsorily medication is essential. This is a very famous disease, identity problem. In 1994, before we called as multiple personality disorder. Very famous movie that Vikram is displayed is beautiful. That is called the Onion. ஒரே உடம்புல ரெண்டு பேர் பூந்துக்கிறது. So this is called a dissociative identity disorder. Now we go to personality problem. This is very, very important in this lockdown period. Particularly adolescents are highly affected by this. Some delinquency. So very extremely inflexible personality has come out, and moreover all the character of a personality disorder is simply disturbing others in the form of destroying other property or hurt others feeling like that, all the activities like that. So this is called a personality disorder. Now one very practically, this is lockdown period, I have in my own perception, in my own experience, I have identified delirium. Be carefully to handle delirium. Delirium means nothing about, if the person is not affected by any one problem, you don't put on hospital கொண்டு போய் ஐசியூல சேர்த்திட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா அவங்களுக்கு எந்த நோயுமே இருக்காது. இருந்தா ஒரு 5 நாள் இருந்துட்டாங்கன்னா they may think about wrong way. வெளியில ஒரு 100 பேர் நின்று நம்மள சுடுறாங்க அப்படின்ட்டு அவங்க ஃபீல் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சுவாங்க. ஸோ ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி the metabolic imbalance is occurred. The low rate of potassium, sodium is reduced due to this intensive care unit psycho. ஸோ நீங்க ஒரு ஏஜ் ஓல்டு பர்சன் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ல சேர்த்துறீங்க அப்படின்னா ரொம்ப கேர்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும். அவங்களுக்கு டிசீஸே இல்லைன்னா சேர்த்துனீங்கன்னா வெரி கேர்ஃபுல். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் the last one. We come to post traumatic stress disorder. So you may think about any one incident. Take for example, you fight on war field, or maybe natural disaster, tsunami, like that. That incident come out during the sleeping time. Very particularly, it come out in the form of nightmare. நாங்க படுத்திருக்கீங்க, படத்துக்கு பக்கத்துல உங்க கோஸ்ட் படுத்திருப்பாங்க, ஒரு படுத்திருக்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு இமேஜ் கிடைக்கும். இல்லைன்னா யாரோ தூங்குறப்ப நம்ம குரவழிய வச்சு நசுக்கிற மாதிரி அதுல இந்த டக்குன்னு எந்திரிச்சுக்குவாங்க. ஸோ திஸ் ப்ராப்ளம் இஸ் கால்டு. தேங்க்யூ.
Thank you, Dr. N. Anandakumar sir. So with that, we'll go ahead and take some time for clarification from representatives.
Yes, ma'am.
Representatives, if you have any clarification, you can clarify your doubts with sir.
Yes, sir, Dr. Anandakumar sir. Anandakumar sir. Dr. Anandakumar sir. I think this is, he left, it seems. I am Dr. Mohan Kumar from.
Sir, he's in line. Please ask.
He's on the yeah.
Sir, Dr. Anandakumar sir. This is Dr. Mohan Kumar from Tirupur Chikkana Government Arts College.
Very good, sir. Please, sir.
Sir, I have one suggestion and clarification. See, while talk about the stress. Okay. But you rightly pointed about the stress comes from marriage. It is rightly is right. But another thing, see what we are used to say to the students if they are coming in the stress. So what I will do in the sense, so I ask the students, if you know the dance, you go and do dance. If you want to eat what type of the food you like, you go and take what the food. And whatever you like, you do it. Then automatically, if you want to listen to music, you can listen to music. What type of the music, do dance, food, everything. But through this way, we can release some type of the stress. Even I am doing the same thing. If I have any stress in our college, even we are NSS officer, we are facing a lot of the problem. But even though we are facing a lot of the problem, but we do like this only. Automatically, the stress will eliminate. Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir. Of course. Definitely,
yes,
sir. Definitely. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other clarification from representative side? I don't find fine. Thank you, Dr. N. Anandakumar sir. Briefly explained about mental health problem. There are so many lifestyle mental health diseases. You have so nicely explained about how to overcome from that and coping strategies and positive thinking and defense mechanism and fight or flight. It's true, sir. In this present scenario, we are in a condition of fight or flight with the environment. Your talk on this topic is very informative and motivative. It will enlighten the lives of the people. It's true. Life is about picking ourselves or moving forward. Thank you once again, Dr. N. Anandakumar sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you
so much.
Thank you very much, sir. This is another. Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful message. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you,
sir.
I thank all the program officers, those who are participated on this program. So I hope tomorrow also we have. So kindly, those who are not attended, your colleagues and your friends, you may be advised to give them to join this webinar. This is for motivation and or just to come to knowledge. We have collect information from the resource person. So I know very well you are much more as a resource person. But even though this COVID-19 and some other aspect, we have to discuss and talk about the resource person may be given a wonderful messages. So I think it's only conducted is for our NSS program officers. So on behalf of Bharatiya University, NSSL, I would like to thank all the participation from the NSS program officers. I hope tomorrow also the same support, and we have to connect your friends and other program officers, those who are not attended, please. Thank you very much for all the program officers. And my dear students, Hazina, are you in line? Mangalnathan? Yeah, just you have to inform tomorrow, the same classes are going on the same link, same link also, okay?
Sir, another, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Sir,
yes,
sir, no, sir, sir.
Sir, same link, no, sir.
Yes, the same link.
Sir, shall I ask some of our NSS secretary to join this program?
Sir, very with the pleasure, sir. Please,
Okay,
tomorrow also one ortho doctor, sir. He is one of the familiar. He may be give you a wonderful lecture on the points about our need of health. He is a medical practitioner, and our department professor, Dr. Valimurian, he has given a valuable.
I know him.
acupuncture
I know
point.
him.
Yeah. Like that, you will be get benefit more. That's why I asked.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Sonal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Manju, Leah. Right.
Yes, sir.
So all students leave from this link and will join tomorrow 9:30 to 9:45. Everyone to join.
Yeah, great. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being so patient. The next session will begin tomorrow at 10 a.m. with two eminent speakers. Sir, can I say the speakers of tomorrow?
Yeah.
With Dr. BRJ Satish Kumar, Managing Director and the Chief Orthopedic Surgeon, and Dr. V. Vallimurigan, Assistant Professor, Department of Physical Education, Bharatiya University, to speak on pranayama and mudras. Thank you. Thank you.
And leaders of MPA, please listen, Hazina and Mangalanathan. So 8 of the students not participated today as per the attendance. So we have to send the message and